Welcome to Talking Off the Clock, the podcast where we dive into the people behind the titles and the passion that drives them. I'm your host, Helen, per usual, and today we're celebrating Neurodiversity Awareness Month, such a special time of the year, and the unique strength that every mind brings through the workplace. But don't worry, I'm not the only one you hear talking today. Joining me will be Suzi and Kayla, members of the TTECMinds Employee Resource Group here at TTEC, and we're very, very passionate about fostering inclusion and supporting neurodiverse employees. So Suzi, Kayla, we're so excited that you're here to bring us your wisdom on such an awesome month.
Yes, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Awesome. And where are you joining us from? Let's go with Suzi first. Where are you joining us from today?
Northern Ireland.
Oh, wow. Okay. And Kayla?
I am in Southwest Missouri.
Oh, perfect. So I love the global representation here. Awesome. Before we dive deep into TTECMinds, it's only right that we get to know you and your journey. So let's jump into that. We'd love to hear a little bit about your journey here at TTEC. So Suzi, can you share a little bit about your role? What brought you to TTEC? How long have you been here? Tell us all about it.
Oh my goodness. So this year will be my 20th year in TTEC. I joined in September 2006. So yeah, 20 years. I joined as an agent. No intentions of staying beyond 6 months. I was here just for weekend money while I was finishing university. And lo and behold, 20 years later, I'm here. Any job you can think of in the call center, I did it. I tried it all out, I tested it all, and then I found my home in quality. So I spent time in operations, facilities, TA, training, and then quality, and that's where I found my home. So my job title now is Executive Director of our Global Quality Intelligence Department, and I have the fun job of running that for our global company, and I have about 600 to 700 employees at the moment in our department. Constantly fluxes up and down, but they're all across the globe. So it's a really, really fun team to work with.
That's incredible. 20 years, Suzi. Wow, that's a long time.
Can you see the wrinkles?
Right. I love it. We cannot see anything. And Suzi, I cannot tell you how many times I've heard of people say, I started as a customer service agent, and here I am however many years later. It's really such an underdog career and gateway into just a world of opportunity. So way to go, and thank you for being such a testament of that journey. Yet again, another awesome story. What about you, Kayla? Tell us about your journey here, your focus on your day-to-day work.
So very similar to Suzi. I have started out as an agent on the phones locally in a brick and mortar location. And I've been with TTEC for a total of, it'll be 16 years in June. Very similar as well. I've kind of done a little bit of everything along the way. Done quality, team lead and operations. I've even done some work with human capital, and most recently, I would say for the last 3 years or so, I've been in project management with our global project management team. So helping new clients get launched and off the ground, and then also work with existing clients and growth and opportunities there.
Amazing. Wow, you're right there behind Suzi. It's 16 years, right?
Yeah.
When is your work anniversary?
June 26th. Yes.
Wow, June and September, big months here at TTEC for Suzi and Kayla. Well, that's awesome. Again, I cannot say it enough. Such an underdog career, and if you had to tell people just your number one thing of why you stay here so long, what helps you wake up in the morning and still say yes to TTEC, putting you on the spot a little bit. Don't come for me. What would that be? And we'll throw it over to Suzi.
For me, I would say it's the leaders, the mentors that I've worked with in TTEC over the years that really just embraced who I was, even when I didn't know who I was. A lot of the mentors and leaders saw things in me that I did not see or understand, but I had trust and faith in them, and that's where my career has been developed from there. So yeah, just really other people seeing me and embracing my mind and how it works is really the reason why I come to TTEC every day. And then the wonderful people that I work with. It's such a pleasure to work with the people that we have in TTEC every day, the new things that you learn every day is a learning day in TTEC. There is never a day I walk away and not thinking I've learned something new today. So yeah, it's really just the people.
Oh my goodness. We totally paid her to say that for everybody listening. I'm just kidding. No, we didn't. It's very true. It is so true. And I love what you said, that people saw in you what you perhaps didn't see at the time, right? And I think that's such a massive milestone in so many people's journeys, like just having a leader that's there to recognize your talents and see your potential. I couldn't agree more. So, and Kayla, what about for you? What's your little nugget of wisdom for the people?
My nugget of wisdom would probably be just never stop learning. There's always something that you can learn from everybody you meet along the way, and so understanding that the people around you can also help shape your career and help to build you up. And that's exactly what we found within TTEC, was just people that'll believe in you, they'll push you, challenge yourself, but also help to guide you in the right direction.
Absolutely. As we get deeper in this podcast today, we have quite the perspective of Suzi and Kayla with a spectrum of 20 years, right? More than 20 years combined. And we just can't wait to go deeper on like what beyond the people, how did you get involved? How did you manage to, just be present at TTEC and continue to grow? And most importantly, what we're here for, how did it all started with Neurodiversity Awareness Month? Why is this important to you? So let's dive in. Since April is Neurodiversity Awareness Month, let's talk what it means. So Suzi, let's start with you again. Why is it important to highlight neurodiversity in the workplace? And what impact can it have on employees and the organization as a whole? And if you want to sprinkle in there what impact it had for you, go for it.
If any business is going to be successful, they need to embrace all minds. It's just as simple as that. There is no two people, regardless of neurotype, that think or act the same. And having a culture that embraces everyone's mind just ensures that that business is always going to be successful. Having a diverse group of minds being able to solve problems is always going to make sure that you get the best solutions and that you can stay competitive in this crazy world that we live in today. That's the importance. If everyone was to think the same and act the same and do the same, nothing would ever improve and nothing would ever get better. And so anytime I come across a team that are struggling with performance or struggling to move things forward, the first thing we always say is take a step back and listen. Let people talk and let people come to you with solutions and recommendations and hear them out. And you'll always get really wonderful creative solutions when the environment is embracive of it.
Yeah, the power of listening is also an underdog. Like, it really brings out just so much potential in our workplace, and especially, in difference of minds and perspective. Love that. And Kayla, do you have a particular personal experience or insight on neurodiversity, whether it's in the workplace or connected with others at TTEC?
So for me, I personally am not neurodivergent, but I do live in a household with two individuals. Both my husband and my daughter are neurodiverse, and that's kind of helped push, like, from personal experience, trying to, transition or maybe bridge the gap to how that also impacts in the workplace too, and seeing how, I have shaped the way that I communicate with my family members to maybe how can I pass along that same experience and knowledge to help the communication between neurotypical and neurodiverse individuals in the workplace to, just continue to propel forward and grow as an organization through that.
Celebrating Neurodiversity Month is just not about recognition, again, but awareness both at work and outside of work. So yeah, how do you surround yourself with your own loved ones, right? Like, to help bridge that and be an ally just by being aware of like how to navigate the different circumstances. In my household, we also are neurodivergent ourselves. And I have my brothers, my sisters as well. So it's always fun, right? Like, and sometimes you don't even realize that you are, because everybody's in a different journey. What would you say, and this is for either one of you, Suzi or Kayla, for whether you're at the workforce and perhaps you've never even heard of this word before, how can you are there signals or are there things that you can do in your everyday work life or personal life that help you be more aware and present and be more adaptable to really be vigilant on how to be of service to other people and be mindful and inclusive and all these things? Is there a particular tip or practice that you put in your everyday that helps you just be there for others?
I would say the first piece of advice I would give to others, leaders or not leaders, is listen, ask, like, how can I support you? How can I help you be your best self in work? And it doesn't have to be a conversation about what your neurotype is. It's the whole point of neurodiversity awareness is to be ensure that we're neuro-inclusive. So really just asking people, like, how do I better help and support you? I was not comfortable sharing my neurodiversity when I first joined in TTEC. A lot of people didn't know I was dyslexic until probably in the last couple of years, nor did they know I was ADHD. But when leaders in the past said to me, how can I help you be your best self? That allowed me to express that actually written communication is not always the best for me. I may need to have a quick call to just make sure I have understanding, I've got clarity. And when you're explaining something to me, be very succinct, be very direct in exactly what it is. If you over-explain, my mind has gone off thinking about a squirrel in the tree. So keep it focused, keep it direct, and let me repeat back to you that I've understood. And just simple things like allowing for employees to share what works best for them and embracing it. And don't forget it, like really own it and keep that relationship with that employee.
I love that. And for you, Kayla, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I often tie it into, it's one of our core values of, seek first to understand, which is, often listen, ask questions to understand the individual rather than just making assumptions or making, going off on what you think is already the answer, because I've often found that sometimes that's just not the case. And it's often helpful to just find out a little bit more. And one of the things that I really share with a lot of our operations leaders and stuff is things that help to get to know your people, right? To Suzi's point, which was, this isn't going to work for me. I need direct communication. Otherwise, I will go off. I know for my daughter, it's been structure helps quite a bit in understanding, keeping on, and getting really the most positive experience for her. And so we have, through different ways that we recognize people, there's one that's just launched here recently around the award co. And there's a spot in there where employees can go in and fill out, the information of how they like to be recognized, how they like to communicate, what do they want. And it's a great place because you can't treat everybody with the same cookie cutter process. It's not always the cookie cutter process. Everybody is different. Being willing to adapt to those styles helps out so much and gets the most out of their teams too.
Absolutely love that. So what I'm hearing is from a leadership or from a person trying to create a space where the person feels confident and safe enough to articulate, really practice on your prompting questions is what I'm hearing, right? What questions are you asking, whether you're a parent figure or a leader, to really, help that person communicate what they need. And then if you are neurodivergent or if you are not sure yet, either way, it's a great conversation to have and put down. Ask yourself some self-reflective questions of hey, what am I missing when I'm trying to complete a task? Or what is it that I need from others? And how can I articulate that to empower myself to be, Suzi's point, I need a call better than writing, or let's make sure we always turn on Copilot to help us out a little bit. Whatever that might be, really try to pull in the puzzles in your workflow and your everyday life. What are the missing pieces and how you can verbalize and articulate for others to help you and lean in. So I love that so much. Which brings us to a space at TTEC called TTECMinds, our employee resource group. I know you're both very, very passionate about. I can say that every company has this, a space where people just really talk and, just connect. So let's start with you, Suzi. Can you share what the group stands for and some activities and initiatives that you've been a part of the year to support our employees? Let's lay it all out there.
TTECMinds was really first created to bring awareness to neurodiversity so that all of our neurodiverse employees had a safe space to come, talk, learn, but then also to ensure that advocates could come and learn as well and understand how they can support their colleagues, their employees and family and friends even, or sometimes just come and learn about themselves. We have a multitude of different spaces. So we have a core team meeting that we meet once a month. We have what's called TTECMinds Socials, is once a month where anyone at all in the company can just come and chat and discuss. We had an agent in South Africa once come and share that he suspected that his little nephew might have been autistic and he's really struggling with X, Y, and Z. And is there any advice that we could give? And a multitude of mothers there who are parents of autistic kids were able to help him out, and they were able to set that little kiddo on a journey of getting diagnosed. So it can be something like that, or it could also be a trainer who was struggling with an employee in her class who said he was ADHD, and she just didn't know how to deliver the training that would meet his needs and keep him performing. And so after conversations with us, he went from being the bottom performer one week to being the top performer the next week, just because of little changes that she made in her training style. So that's really the purpose of it. You know, Kayla and myself are the co-chairs of the ERG now. I myself being neurodivergent, Kayla is not, but she is very much living the life of neurodivergent. So it is a voice of everyone. And the whole purpose is to really drive neuro-inclusiveness.
Wow, it is the voice of everybody. Like, we need to get that patent. I don't know, like it. I love that phrase. That's amazing. So, for you, Kayla, especially not being neurodivergent, but being in the world of others, right? Like, what do you feel this group is all about? Like, what led you to be a part of this group? And if if somebody was listening, whether a future employee or current, like, what is something that they would look forward to?
It's really around like the support that's provided, as well as just how do we help to create other ways that neurodiverse individuals are included in the workplace, and have posed some of those challenges to not only brick and mortar, but also virtual spaces too, because they each pose, different sets of challenges and how we navigate those environments. I myself, not being neurodiverse, but having family members, being immersed in that world, I wanted to see making kind of a future for my daughter, and how can I help to see the progression in the workplace and shape kind of some of the decisions within TTEC and the organization to help, individuals that are already in that, but also set ourselves up for success in the long term. So I know some of the other initiatives that we've gone through have been things around, our low sensory rooms, both in center and then also in the virtual space too, and trying to help create just some additional safe spaces.
And for those that don't know what a low sensory room, can one of you explain a little bit about that?
Sensory issues in a call center are at the highest level. You've got all the background noise of everybody talking. You've got the fluorescent lights twinkling. You've got people cheering and excited about performance being up. It can just get very overwhelming. And so this ERG group wanted to create a safe space that would be solely for neurodivergent people or anybody that was overwhelmed at the time to go into a room that was closed off from the rest of the call center, had low lighting, had some fidget toys, some textiles, just a really quiet space that you can control and recalibrate and get back to being, your strong self to go back to work. Kayla has been leading this initiative for us, and it's phenomenal. We've got some testimonies that are going to be coming out soon from our employees who really benefit from the low sensory rooms, so that we can encourage others to really take benefit of it as well.
That's incredible. And yeah, for those of you listening or watching us on YouTube, when we post this, we post on these low sensory rooms all around the world, because we do have in several offices. So go check them out on our socials at TTEC Live. They're truly, truly made such a phenomenal difference. And even people that are not neurodivergent, like, they really do feel like it's an outlet for them to just recharge, recenter themselves. Just phenomenal job to the Employee Resource Group for going that extra mile to actually making a physical, tangible difference for employees to really experience this space. So big kudos to you guys. It is abundantly clear and amazing to see how TTECMinds is creating this safe space, building awareness, and providing resources to employees, right? Because it's not just about creating the rooms, but this sense of community where people can share stories and real life trials where you guys can share experiences. That is powerful, and that is true inclusion at its finest. Thank you for your hard work and your continued hard work through this group. And again, as we celebrate and bring awareness this month. A big topic is AI, and it's kind of interesting how this topic, sometimes you don't think about it or think about this group. It's like, okay, how does it even affect the neurodivergent community? So, Suzi, tell us, are there specific examples where technology helps individuals focus or stay productive, or working ways where it aligns to their strengths and really complements their neurodivergent world? Tell us all about it.
AI has been a real game changer for me specifically. My specific neurodivergence, as I mentioned, is ADHD and dyslexia. One, when I'm tired and maybe a little bit overworked, I tend to not do well with words, but then the ADHD side of me wants too many words. So when I'm trying to send an email or, explain something or even do a performance review and I have very specific things that I want to say, but I just get challenged with the words out, I brain dump into Copilot. And I will ask it because it's been working with me over the last year or so. It has now built a relationship with me. It understands my brain better than I do now. And I'm able to ask it, can you please put this into succinct bullet points? And it could be a 10-paragraph story that I have written, and it will come back with 4 or 5 bullet points, really summarizing it for me. It also helps with, again, times where I do get overwhelmed and my brain is tired, but I have deadlines to meet. And I'm communicating with anyone at like John's level, the president of the company, or I could be communicating with a quality specialist in my organization. I need to make sure that that message is understood and it's clear and concise. And I'm not taking up that person's time by writing 10-paragraph long statements. So yeah, it's been really helpful with making sure my spelling is accurate, my grammar is correct, but also that I make sense, not just in my brain, but actually on paper as well.
Yeah, I love that tip. I am also ADHD and it's been a game changer. I'm like Copilot every time at the beginning of the call, going back through the transcripts and also communicating your ideas clearly. Not just that, I'm also part of the bilingual, Hispanic minority. So you combine them both and it really takes me a second to put together my thoughts. So AI has really been transformative. There's even presentation solutions out there that have really helped consolidate, and put your thoughts, especially as you're preparing for presentations, etc. So, it's been amazing. What about you, Kayla? How have you experienced AI in the workforce?
Very similar situation. I love AI, but I'm also at a point where I'm trying to understand other AI tools that are utilized in the workforce. So that and how they can all, I think Copilot's an excellent example of how it communicates across multiple different platforms now. If it's Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Outlook, all of them, and just kind of combining it into one. But I think the biggest thing for me has been also creating kind of like those lists of like a to-do list, summarizing some of those, being brief and succinct with those points. I kind of lean on my family members sometimes to help me with like, I just need a prompt and this is what I'm trying to get. My husband has a great time of being able to be very specific and detailed around what I'm trying to accomplish with it. And so that's been helpful because I understand that that's really where I get the most benefit out of AI, and then also being able to pass that along to here's a prompt, or share that within my team, what works best or what's helped me then get the right information or the right response out of AI. Continuing to learn on the different AI tools and how I can help to integrate those into my work.
Yeah, I love that. And shout out to the Kaylas of the world that pass on really tried and true prompts. Thank you, Kayla. It saves, a lot of people a lot of time. And, I think it's a little bit of a bomb there from a neurodiversity perspective. Like, wow, she did it. She knows. We love it. Let's try it. That's awesome. Hopefully by now you've heard about just this amazing community that doesn't just accidentally exist in TTEC. It's really a group of people that are really driven and passionate about bringing something that could be very different that actually unifies this group, right? As being TTECMinds, neurodivergent people, both part of the community and just allyship. And if that's something that you're like, wow, my company doesn't have that, like I really want to belong to something greater. And yes, what we do in our roles, we love our passions, our careers. You heard it from the beginning. They have both Kayla and Suzi have been here for 16 years, 20 years, and they keep trekking. But community is a big portion of that. And Suzi mentioned it, like the people is a big portion of why they showed up. And hopefully a community that TTECMinds is something that, people listening, if this is your sign, it might be the sign you may be waiting for to apply to a company like TTEC. So before we let people walk away and, carry on with their day, they may be listening in the background while they're getting their jobs completed or whatnot, what would you like them to know about the culture, support systems, or communities like TTECMinds? I know we've uncovered a lot, but if you want to give them that extra pitch of like, here's why, and I am the living proof of it, Suzi, Suzi, give it to them.
I would say the one thing would be is we value you and who you are. There is no need to come with a mask. And for anyone that doesn't know what masking means, it's something that I've done for pretty much 40 years of my life, where I've tried to pretend to be someone else to fit in. You don't need to fit in because we embrace who you are. And even in TTECMinds, we have such a wide range of different people, but like even you and I, we're chatting here and we're both ADHD, but we're both very different. So everyone is appreciated for who they are, and your strengths are what we lean on, and your areas for improvement are what we support you with. So yeah, that would be the one thing I would say is, and that's what makes me come back every day. And it's what made me say yes to being a co-chair of this ERG, because I am passionate about continuing what was already built for us here and just making sure that we continue to carry that torch for the community, because it isn't something that happens widely out there outside of this job. Anyway, I know I struggle with it outside of work because I've got so, I would say, spoiled in TTEC of being embraced for who I am. It's not always the case outside in the real world. Just making sure that you know that you're going to be accepted for who you are.
I love that. And for you, Kayla?
And for me, it's if you're looking for something that's just overall like a purpose-driven work, and that's kind of where we're at, is being able to see the impact to individuals that come through the doors, either virtual or in person, and seeing that kind of carried out throughout, and just the caring and understanding that, to Suzi's point, we accept you for you and embrace everybody is different, and embrace that everyone has strengths that can be provided regardless of, their background or what they may have been at with other employers. And that's just kind of where I think this has been a great group to get involved in, and really does shine a light on that every mind is different and everyone has strengths that they can contribute to.
Wow, we could talk about this probably all month long. It's such a passionate subject, and it's something that we experience every single day. And back to Suzi and what you said, Kayla, like it's something that we are spoiled here at TTEC, because you are your authentic self and you show up and then you walk out the door, and sometimes it's not the experience. But I think that's also a model that we carry to impact in our own local communities, to be able to gift that to the people around us. And I think it's something beautiful within our TTEC culture that we live every day. And if you want to be part of the spoiled squad, then go check out TTECjobs.com and apply so we can spoil you with some goodness. Thanks again, Suzi and Kayla, for celebrating Neurodiversity Month with us.
Thank you.
Again, thank you so much for sharing your stories, experiences, and insights with us today. As we celebrate Neurodiversity Awareness Month going forward, it's clear that when we combine the right tools, supportive communities, and inclusive practices, everyone has an opportunity to thrive. And to everyone listening, thank you for tuning in to Talking Off the Clock. If you enjoyed this episode, smash that subscribe button, please and thank you, and share it with your colleague. And if you're interested in growing your career in a workplace that values inclusion, authenticity, innovation, where really technology and people collide, explore opportunities at TTECjobs.com. Your story truly belongs here, and we cannot wait to get to know you. Until next time, take care, stay inspired, and keep building community both on and off the clock.